Hello everyone, once again. Today I'll return the videos in English. I'll be incorporating a new method to make the language more fluid. Here we go. Hi there. Welcome to a new Rhino video. Welcome to Rhino Designer. Today we'll model the Marshmallow chair. I wasn't familiar with this chair, but I saw a Facebook post, an advertisement where they were selling this chair while assembling it. I thought it was a nice, simple chair that we can all model. This exercise is super basic. To model this exercise or complete the full practice, you need any version of Rhino and any version of Vray. Let's begin. In this case, I'll start with a new document with small objects in centimeters. We'll do this without exact chair dimensions, but we can work proportionally. I'll draw a line, for example. This one is about... I'll put 35 downwards. Backwards, I'll put 60. Let's see. I think we'll make it 80. We can modify it later. From here, I'll make a line about 45 more or less. This one will have an angle. Let's see. 45, how does it look? If not, I'll reduce it later. More or less, I think. Let's see, angle of 30 or 35. 30 looks good there. It should be more upwards. This line will make it 50. Let's see. 55, 60. I'll make it 60 with a 30-degree angle for the inclination it has there, and then upwards it has about 25 units up here. Let's start with this outline and we'll modify it shortly. I think here it's longer. For this look, linear dimension from here to here, mid 80. Transform ideal scale on scale from end to end and tell it. Okay, now it's longer. Okay, now it's longer. Here I think I put 35, so what I'll do, I think I'll explode it. And from here I can transform scale on scale. From here to 30. Okay, looks better. Okay, good. Now it also has a fillet. This fillet I'll make about 5 units to see how it looks. Radius 5, and I'll select here and here. There, it looks good. The back one is bigger, so I'll put radius 10. Remember, if you know specific dimensions, you can change them. But now with radius 5 for here. Let's see. Perfect. We'll join this. I always mention this. Different ways to get the same result. I'll make a line from midpoint in case you think, no, I'd do it this way. This is about 12 units. So let's put 6 like this, and we'll do a sweep along a rail. Here, let's try rail curve. Except, okay, more or less this size. And this is copied about 80 or 90 units left or right. Let's see how it looks at 80. I only have a perspective view. I think 80 is good. Remember, as I always say, if you think you know what, it should be more or less, you can change it. Now I'll do an offset. I'll make it 1.2 towards the top part. See here, it's outwards or downwards, and I'll flip or invert all. I'll say 1.2. It looks like somewhat thick wood. Yes, good. I'll do the same here. Not just if it comes out reversed. Flip and accept on the inner part. I don't know exactly how this is manufactured, but we'll start from here. Look. Let's make a cylinder starting from here. Let's see if we find a midpoint here. Okay, from there and this, let me see roughly what diameter it would have. Doesn't reach the bottom. 25 is too small. 40 is too small. 55 is about... 55 doesn't reach the bottom here. There, it doesn't reach bottom. I made it 55 in this case, and I'll take it to the other side here. Anyway, you know we can modify it later, no problem. Okay, let me see which way. Okay, yes. We'll make it smaller, but look, we'll make something like this in another layer, just so we don't get confused. Let's make another cylinder. This cylinder will start at the same midpoint, but if this one was 50, 45 is good, and we'll just take it here. It's very small. If by any chance it built to the other side, let's move it from any point to 2. Enter, and also here. Any questions you have about all the commands, I've already explained them, no problem. Here, I'll do a mirror from midpoint. Okay, from midpoint to here. Now how do we arrange this? I select it. Transform a scale on this scale. I want to scale from midpoint to this quadrant. To that quadrant there. Yes, see, it's already scaled on both sides. There, it has some rounding, will do now. I'll make a fillet and radius. I think about 3 units. Let me see how it looks with 3 here and there. Good, looks quite nice. This one has a small radius but very tiny. This one will put radius 0.8. Just here and here. Okay, good. Okay. There's also some separation between this and that up there. I don't know if the top part and bottom part are the same size, but we'll make a copy from midpoint here. There should be a midpoint there. I activate midpoint from here to here. I think I didn't make a copy, I just moved it. I need to make a copy from here to here. Okay, more or less this size. And yes, I saw in the construction there's some space between these, between the seat and backrest. That's how it looks proportionally. Yes, you see some spacing. I think we'll make this one a bit bigger. Let me see. No, I think rather, look, let's take this one here. We'll make, I'll hide these 2 elements. I'll make this one a little smaller. Transform a scale on just a little. No need to be much. I activate end. To here, something like that, just to reduce. I unhide what was hidden, to reduce that gap there. Although when I saw the construction, there is some spacing between those 2 parts. Actually, I wondered if it would be uncomfortable for a small child. I'll move from center here to midpoint. Now I check if it's correct. From here? Okay. Okay. Now it's a little closer. Actually, I'll pause the video a bit and I'll incorporate a 3D model of someone sitting to check proportions. Here, I just incorporated this person. Let's put them here. I think more or less it's looking proportional. See? I think it's good. More or less, this would be the proportion. I don't know if it will be the same now when we add this material. We can make this a bit wider, but more or less, you see how you'd like your model to be. This was the spacing. I mentioned, yes, this chair has some spacing there. I don't know if I'm leaving too much spacing, or if this should be a bit more forward. Again, you can modify anything. More or less, it's proportional. About this size, the woman should be. I think I also have the standing version. I think she's 1.52 meters tall. Let me see if the woman has materials. Right now, she doesn't have materials, but we'll add materials shortly. Now, the first thing to do here is add a floor. Let's take 5 or 10 minutes to do this. I'll make a simple box here. Simple box. This box, I'll make it flush with the chair. I'll explode it. Here, I'll delete. Also here. Now we have a scene to place our object. Let's go to settings here. Quality for now low. On this side will come. Later, I'll explain why. When we get to the rendering part, I really like to render in primary robots with an irradiance map and finish with brute force. In another video, I'll explain the differences between engines, but for now, as we want to keep it basic. This is fine. For now, it doesn't matter if we have progressive enabled. I think this will be good. We already exploded it. Let's generate a basic material. Let's come here, right-click. This one I just added by mistake. This one I just added by mistake. Actually, I'll delete it. Right-click a generic. Let's name it wall. We'll make a basic wall. To make a wall, there are different methods, different characteristics. I'll make a more or less white wall. As a recommendation, never use it. Pure white or pure black. I'll put something here. I'll add a bit of reflection. 85 or 80%, and I'll also reduce glossiness a bit so it's not a mirror finish. If you don't know where we get this, just go to the material we made and select. I'll select, right-click, apply to selection. Right-click, e-duplicate. And I'll change here where it says wall. The diffuse is the pure color of an object. I'll choose the color I want. For example, I'll apply it as one. I'll apply it to this selection, and also here in Google, let's search for a wood texture. There are different ways. Right now, we're doing it as quickly as possible. For example, this one. A web format image won't work. It has to be JPG or PNG. But web doesn't work. Right-click or save image as. We look for a path and say save. We return. Let's make a generic material. Right-click, generic. I'll name it floor. There are pages to download textures. I'm doing it as quickly as possible. Let's come here to diffuse. We tell it we want to load a bitmap. We go to the path where we save the image. We load our image into the floor material. We'll also add reflection and reduce glossiness a bit. Actually, I'll reduce glossiness a bit. Reflection a bit more. Just a bit more so it's not too shiny. We apply it here. Let's do a render here. For now it looks like this. It's normal. We'll add some details there, for example. We can add repetitions, texture placement, flora diffuse, where we added the image. Repeat. I'll put 4 by 4 times. Let's see how it looks, and we can come back to this little box. With this, you see the last render you generated, and I think I'll modify the repetitions. It looks pretty good for a simple render. Okay, now we'll start making a composition. This I'll take here. I think here is good. This surface here I'll hide. And we'll make some windows. Even if we don't add glass, maybe later we could add glass. I'll copy here. No problem if it skews to one side, or I can deactivate. Select, activate shaded view. Trim here and here. Why do we need to add very basic sunlight? Sunlight also has difficulty. Add sunlight and height. Indicated direction. Height doesn't matter. We can generate a real time. For now, it would look like this. Why? Because we haven't really configured much. We haven't configured anything. Let's come here to Vray in the sun. I'll tell it I want a custom one. We'll give it a height. Obviously not a weird height and inclination. The chair has no material. It's normal. But you can come here to adjust the sun direction. I think it looks pretty good. Don't set a height of 90. It's more or less like when in Mexico City, or in Mexico in general where I'm from. Between 12 and 1 we have our sun at its highest. In this case it doesn't look so bad because we have a ceiling. But look here how burnt this little square is. so our scene would be very, very burnt, depending on what we want to see. That would be our inclination. If you want the sun to come in, I like an inclination like this. I can come here to the wall and reduce reflection a bit. I think now the reflections aren't so visible. And now let's stop our render. Here, we close this window and let's stop our render. Download a wood texture for the chair legs. I think I'll save this one. Right-click Save Image as. Okay, I think it's JP. I save it. I generate a new material. You double-click and can rename or right-click and rename. Here we'll add a bitmap. This bitmap is the new one we downloaded. We'll add a bit of reflection. This one should shine a bit. I'll apply it to this piece and this piece. Apply to selection. Also generate a new generic material. This material will be somewhat similar to plastic and will be something like this. Let's come here. We choose a color that looks like melon. We also add a reflection. This one shines a bit more. Okay. Now that it's like this, there are different ways, let's see, to not add another texture. In the option that says bump, we'll click and look for an option that says noise B. There's also noise but we'll choose noise B. In size, right 0.3. We'll add some roughness. Select, right-click, or apply to selection. I'll come to frame, select a region. It looks quite weird. The first thing we notice is that the noise we added is too big. So there's an option that says texture placement. I'll put 10 and 10. It'll look much smaller. I'll do a render. See, this is what I meant. It'll look very small, but still not very defined. Okay, I think this could be. I think I'll put 9 and 9 repetitions and here we'll choose in the amount 1.5. It'll be more noticeable. Exactly. Now I think the color is a bit more yellowish. Let's see. I think I'll make it a bit more yellowish. I'll rotate here. I come here to properties. In settings, there's an option that says Save Frame. This is what will appear in your render. Actually, I can do a real time. I think it looks pretty good. I'll rotate here. I come here to properties. In settings, there's an option that says Save Frame. This is what will appear in your render. Actually, I can do a real time. I think it looks pretty good. I want less powerful lighting. Maybe 0.7. Intensity. In exteriors, there are different ways to use it. But look, I like something like this. I'll go to settings in the render, Medium quality is fine. Everything you see here can be done. But for now, I'll leave it like this. It's already centered. This is how I like it. In size I'll just put here about 1200 by 675, and I think that's it. I'll just do a render. And when it finishes, we continue. Our render has finished. We can do many more things to it. For example, usually the floor isn't left like this. You add bump for the veins here. A displacement so the floor shows planks. On the wall you also add roughness or finish. You can add bricks. I know it doesn't have any now. We didn't put any environment, but I want to keep this as basic as possible, so everyone can do it without certain knowledge. Also worth noting, we have absolutely nothing around. Not much to get reflections from. The ceiling has no color. You can add plants, a table, and more. If you want to save it, go to save. Find the path. Choose JP. Give it a name and click save. This render didn't take long because we didn't really add many things. And well, I hope you liked it. It was quite simple. I liked it. The model and render we did in very little time. It's quite good for a quick exercise, and especially easy, and that everyone can do. Any questions, any comments, I'll be reviewing them. And for now, I say goodbye. My name is Guillermo Urbina, industrial and graphic designer, and see you next time. Bye.